everyone, it's Sharon here. Today I've got a card to share with you for Spellbinders. I'm going to show you how I made this cute flamingo card, and it's using the Shapeabilities Designer Series Wild and Free Tropics die set, which is one designed by Debbie Adams. I'm also going to do a little giveaway because when I ordered my set I accidentally ordered two, so I've got a spare and I'm going to give my spare set to someone. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. If you pop along to my Facebook page and leave a comment on the relevant Facebook post, I will pick a winner on the 28th of May and send this spare set out. I'll leave details in the description box here on YouTube of how to get to that. So to start with, I've got a piece of aqua card and I've got an ink dauber, and I'm just using Versamark ink with the ink dauber to put some dots all over. Now you can see I picked up an ink dauber that already had some white ink on it. Now this is quite helpful for me because it means I can see where I'm putting the ink, but it does mean I'm going to have to clean my ink pad at the end of this video. It's pigment ink, so it will work just as well as the Versamark actually for the powder to stick to. And I'm using Wow embossing powder. This is platinum. Platinum I think looks lovely against the aqua card. So now I can heat this up and melt the powder. As you can see, I've got my gun off to the side. I'm waiting till it's really hot before I put it to the card. That way I'll minimise the amount of warping I get to the card. It's a really good tip to do that. So I'm just going to heat up all this powder and you can see the beautiful shine. This really does look lovely against the aqua. It's a great colour combination. Silver would look good too actually, but I do like this platinum because I must admit I normally go for gold rather than silver on my projects. So now I can just fix this to my card front. I'm using some double-sided tape. Just popping that on the back. And I'll use my tool-in-one just to get the backing off because with my nail polish I can't get the backing off without it. And I'll just pop that on. And that's my card base ready to go. Now I can get ready to do my die cutting. And I will be honest with you, I filmed this video live without any plan in mind, which I usually do actually. I very rarely know exactly where I'm going with my cards, but quite often when I'm doing a video I will I'll make a card first and then recreate it. This time I'm completely winging it as I go, and it suddenly hit me as I was looking at that aqua cardstock and my nail varnish that it was a really good colour combination. So I looked for some cardstock in that same sort of coral colour as my nails because I thought that would look great. And as you can see, it really does go great with the aqua. So I've cut my flamingo and I'm going to do some leaves. As I say, I don't know where I'm going with this card, so I'm just kind of cutting a few elements out and working it out as I go really. So I've cut out one of the leaves. Sorry, I just knocked my camera there. I have my camera overhead and every now and then I hit it with my head. And then I decided I'm going to need something to put these on because with the busy background I don't want to put the elements straight onto the card front, so that's going to work quite nicely. And I do actually decide I need two leaves, so I cut another one off camera in a slightly darker green. Now because this main image is just all one colour, I feel I need to bring it to life a little bit. So I'm just grabbing a paper pad to put underneath me and I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending. First of all I'm going to add an eye with just a black gel pen. And in real life flamingos have kind of lighter legs than their body. They're still pink but they're very pale. So I'm thinking it's going to be quite easy to just lighten up the legs with some ink. Now I've grabbed a very pale pink, but I'm discovering that it really doesn't make any difference. So I'm grabbing my white now and I'm just going to put a bit on my finger and smear it onto the legs. And this looks great. I can rub a little bit off so it's not too white, and it does give the effect of the legs looking sort of like a pale coral. So I'm happy now that the flamingo's how I want it. I could go further and add some shading underneath the wing, but I feel that's enough just to bring him to life a bit. So now I need something to ground him, and I grabbed one of my ink blending tools, and it's got some brown ink on it already. I'd wanted more of a sand colour here, really. I'm just playing around with this really and seeing how it looks, because as I told you, I'm winging this as I go. But I'm thinking this looks a bit too mud-like, so I'm going to add a bit of yellow, I think. But first of all, I'm going to remove a little bit of the brown. I'm just going to spritz it with some water, let that settle for a second, and then put a towel over it, and that will remove a bit of the brown. I think having brown and yellow together will look quite realistic for sand, so I'm just going to put a bit. This is fossilised amber I'm using, and that's more the kind of look I wanted, so I'm happy with that. So I can set that aside to dry for a moment, and now I can think about what sentiment to add to my card. So I've grabbed the Shapeabilities Phrase Set 2 die set, and in this set there's a really nice hello die which I think will look quite good in the corner. And I'm going to die cut this from black card. I've gone with black because with that platinum shine in the background, really you need something quite dramatic to stand out, otherwise it would just get lost with everything else going on. So I can just start to assemble my card now and work out which bits I want raised, which bits I want flat. So I'm just checking that I'm happy and that I don't need to die cut any more leaves or add anything else. But I think this is looking good. Yep, so now I can start to stick it all down. I'm using just PVA glue for the leaves. And as I said before, I've cut 2 leaves, one from a light green and one from a dark. And I'm just working out now. I'm just going to lay that there. I haven't stuck it down because I think actually it makes more sense to have the lighter green in the foreground and the darker green behind. So I'm going to switch those around like so. Pop those down. And then the circle, I'm going to add some foam tape. I didn't mention actually which die I used for this circle. It's the Nestabilities Standard Circle set. I've had this set for absolutely years and it's had so much use because you can't go wrong. You know, any card needs a nesting circle. I've got tons of circle die sets actually, but this is one of my favourites because it's just simple. And I'm sticking down the flamingo with some PVA glue too. And then for the sentiment, just in case any of the glue seeps out, I'm going to use my Ranger Multi-Matte Medium. And I'll just add some tiny dots all over the back of that. Like so. And then I can stick that down and that's my card finished. Now you'll see the photos at the end. I used the same design to put together another card using the pineapple from the set. The techniques I used for that card are pretty much the same. I die cut the pineapple from white card though and completely coloured it with distress inks. But other than that, the background's the same. I use the same circle die, so it's just I didn't video it because it's so similar, but you can quickly see how you could create another card from the same idea. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to pop over to my Facebook page to join in with the giveaway, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.